All right, so we are in our class Idolatry number 14, talking about today about important topic. All the topics we use are important, but this is really fascinating. Rebellion to God by evil system of justice. So let's see what it means. So in our idolatry class, we focus on the idols now, according to chapter 1, and in fact it covers all the possibilities of idol worshiping in the world. We already discussed the first consultation of Elohim, the Creator, with the 6 days. He created us from the 6 days. Each day provide a layer in our body and mind, but also a source of idolatry. We talk about it. It's actually this simple statement cover the entire journey of idolatry in the world, starting from worshiping holy cows, dragons, fish, bird, day by day, as we go deeper and deeper in nature. It all already happened. all the 6 days were already worshipped, down to day 2 with the water. The Greek worshiped the sea, the god of the sea, and so on. Then we moved on to the second consultation. Every consultation Elohim made when he said, let us make Adam together in our form. He looked at different entities. He consulted them like a builder consulting his master plan, and he made one layer in our body according to that consultation. It was a wonderful gift. We are wonderful creatures. At the same time, there is a price. Because he spoke in plural, he opened the door for idolatry. So man is born to be challenged by idolatry aspect of that consultation. If nature is so wonderful, we will worship it, forgetting Elohim. The second consultation, he said, he consulted everyone in a chapter, the Rabbi said. So after building our body from the 6 days, he looked down to the beginning, the head of the event. In Hebrew, it's not the beginning, but the head of the event. He looked at the head, his own head, when he built the head that he used to build nature, consulted it, and made Adam head accordingly. It means that the wisdom in that head, the wisdom that he used as a builder of the 6th day, the wisdom of science, let's say, the science that controls nature, the natural law, we put that wisdom in us. We can understand and decipher those laws. No wonder that Kant spoke in amazement. How is it possible that our brain is made like a box, a priority, he said. It is fixed a priority. Even before our birth, it has a template to understand all the natural laws and write them in mathematics. It fascinated him. Well, it wouldn't fascinate him if he knew the Torah, because the Torah says, Elohim consulted the wisdom, the very wisdom by which he created the world, which means consulted the quantum physics, the chemistry, the laws that control nature, the relativity, whatever, all the days, and the wisdom behind it, the DNA structure, everything, and he made us. The wisdom he implanted in us. No wonder that we have that wisdom. enormous gift. No other creature around us has even an iota of that. We are so far above all the other creatures, because we are alone building that fashion. A huge, precious gift and a source of idolatry. Because we can say, wow, science is so nice. So because it's so successful, it's so good, it improves our life so much. So we are made to be fascinated. We are tended to be fascinated by it, adore it, and even worship it. Worship it, I don't mean to slaughter animal and throw blood on the altar for science. That's not the way science is worshipped. Science is worshipped by simply replacing God. I don't need God anymore, I just go to the doctor, people say. And the entire scientific methodology presented by Kant is based on the total rejection of the past. It says man should not be a prisoner of the past, and he should be free to set up his own system, and he should consider for science only things that you can measure, you can touch, you can put in mathematical formula. All the other concepts, including God, is supernatural. So it's not science, which was really right when you talk about scientific method. But God says, man, I gave you that system. I put it in your mind. So don't forget me. Don't worship science and forget the one who put the science in your mind. Okay, so we discussed it last time. But it took consultations. Consultation number one with the 6 days. We went back to verse number 1, and he consulted the wisdom that in verse 1 and made us. But one more thing, forgot to mention. Because when Elohim created the heaven and the earth, Elohim is a judge. So he acted like both a builder, with wisdom of building and science, and as a judge. He judges every day, if it's good or not. So the wisdom to act, there is another wisdom of Elohim presented in verse 1, is the wisdom to conduct a truthful judgment, a trial, to execute a true judgment. That's capacity of us to have the perception of what is right and what is wrong, what is true and for what is a lie, and to have the balance, to have the perception of balance of event when we put a verdict for a judgment. That sense of a righteous, of a truthfulness. Don't look at it as something trivial. It's a gift from God, from Elohim. He consulted that wisdom too and put it in our heart. See, we are not only Homo sapiens, as the scientists say, because we can create tools. Of course, we are Homo sapiens because we produce now a spaceship and what's not. But we are Homo sapiens, smart, wise men, because of another aspect. Because we have the ability to execute a truthful judgment, to have the feeling what is right and what is wrong, what is true and what is a lie, like Elohim. So in the Torah eyes, that sort of wisdom is no less than the than our wisdom to create science. Maybe even more. The whole Talmud is about that kind of wisdom, how to execute the truthful judgment. So that judgment, that wisdom is also planted in our mind. The question is, well, this was an enormous gift, placing us above everything else in nature. No other creature can have it, for sure. But if it's so precious gift, can it act like an idol, pushing us away from God? Like the other side, like the other kind of wisdom, the wisdom of science. We've already seen that the wisdom, the other side, the other wisdom of science is already acting now, pushing us away from God. What about the other kind of wisdom of God, of Elohim, as a judge? Can it also push us away from God? So what does it mean? How can a judiciary system push us away from God? So, but let's kind of think about it. When he planted in Adam this ability to find the truth and execute a truthful judgment, we act like Elohim. And every human being has that kind of ability. He can be born in Amazon, in the Amazon forest, never seen other people. But in his system, there is a system of justice there. Could be, of course, it changed in detail from our system, but basically, if you compare all the systems in the world, we all know what is right and what is wrong, what is fair and what is not fair, what is just and not just. They have the ability to weigh things one against the other. So that's unique. So when that came to us at the time of creation. Because when he created Adam, he looked at his own wisdom, of Elohim wisdom, that's exactly that kind of wisdom. And he made our mind accordingly, so we all Homo sapiens must share the same basic value. But there is another facet of truthful judgment that I forgot to tell you so far about. Because the judgment not from Elohim's side, not from the judge, but what about from YHVH, the merciful one? What about judgment from her aspect? Does she contribute anything to that capacity to execute judgment on the surface? No. She is just for mercy and compassion. She has nothing to do with judgment. Well, when she came to the heavenly court, she agreed to execute some judgment from her aspect. Otherwise, she wouldn't sit in the heavenly court. So there she executes some aspect of judgment according to her value. So what are the value of YHVH that are implemented, are expressed in a judiciary system? Where is it? Where did he get it from? When? The answer is, Adam didn't get it at the time of creation, chapter 1. He got it, Adam and Eve got it in chapter 2 or 3 or 4 in the story of Eden. Because only after eating from the forbidden fruit of tree of knowledge, good and evil, only then they acquired the awareness of YHVH. Before that, before eating the fruit, the Rambam, Maimonides said, Adam and Eve were like children that knows only good from lie, truth from a lie, Elohim values, but not good from evil. Evil, by definition, write it down, evil in the Torah eyes, always is an aspect of the merciful one. Evil is something that the merciful one hates, not Elohim. Write it down. So when they ate the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, the term evil means that now they got a perception of from YHVH stands for, and that's why they cover the nakedness. You don't cover the nakedness when you stand before Elohim, the creator of nature. You are like an animal. What's wrong with going naked? Once you get the perception of YHVH in your heart, you're ashamed from nakedness. It's against her holiness. So, in Eden, they got a perception of YHVH in addition to the original perception from Elohim they were born with. Children actually will grow up like that. Up to age of 13, they know only Elohim, in truth. At the age of 13, according to the book of Zohar, they get a perception of, with a sexual maturation, maturity, puberty, they get a perception of YHVH. Write it down. That's why we have the bar mitzvah at age 13. And for a girl, 12. It comes together. Before that, a boy is smart. He can write the citations, but he has no feeling what love is, what the merciful one is standing for. You never know until you get to puberty, to Gan Eden. Eden is a term of sexual pleasure, Eden. So when they ate the fruit, they got the awareness of the merciful one. And now, at the same time, YHVH and Elohim together, now the two cherub together, gave Adam the sixth commandment: idolatry, bloodshed, theft, injustice, and blasphemy. In case they will be driven out to earth, this system of law will come to them as natural system from Eden, and no society will survive without those six commandments of Adam. Noah later on added the seventh, but from Adam we have the sixth. So those six laws of Adam in Eden are the source of all the judiciary system in the world, whether they recognize it or not. Every society understands that you shouldn't steal, you shouldn't rape your neighbor's wife, you shouldn't kill anybody without being punished. All these six laws are common to all humankind, all human race, even the jungle of Jamaica. Not Jamaica. Jamaica is a civilized place. Jungle, you know where, Bermuda. People will never encounter any in human society. The scholar found that in their society, they really adhere to some kind of the same system. They know what is stealing, what is ownership is. They know. It's natural. The scholar call it natural law, without understanding this is not natural law. These are the law planted in us in Eden. After we got the awareness of why we are, that's what the story of Eden is all about. Okay, so now we came to the understanding that each law of these six have two aspects, two kind of wisdom in it. Because all that is an expression of God's wisdom planted in us to make our own system of judgment, to find truthful judgment. So when we execute, when we have a law system, and we execute truthful judgment, justice, we apply two kind of moral layers. One is superficial, one is deeper. The superficial one, on the surface, is an Elohim aspect of what's good for society. Man, I gave you those system so you can conduct a normal society and thrive. And don't forget me. I gave it to you as a present for the purpose of succeeding and thriving in your habitat. Without those laws, you won't survive. You eat each other. Don't kill, don't steal, don't rape. It's a logic system that's on the surface. Deeper than this is a totally different aspect of the Shekhinah. Deeper in every law. Every law in the Torah has two layers. The Hasidic tradition says. The superficial level of the written Torah, seen by anyone that's Elohim law, deeper than that is Shekhinah law. What does it mean? What does it mean? Am I talking about mystical things? No. I'm not mystical man. You know me. So what does it mean, a deeper layer of YHVH to every law? Let's see. I'll go over with you the sixth commandment and we'll see for yourself. Once you know it, you can identify it right readily. Take idolatry. Commandment number 1. On the surface, it's a very logical commandment given by Elohim for our benefit. Man, don't forget me. Don't worship other idols for your benefit. Well, I understand that kind of logic for the welfare of all of us. Behind it, deeper in it, there is a totally different aspect of idolatry from the Shekhinah point of view. Her aspect of idolatry, when you worship somebody else beside Hashem Elohim, it's a betrayal of love. It's adultery. It's a deep disappointment from an attribute of your mother in heaven that love you so much and put you on earth. All the prophets of Israel, without exception, relate to idolatry of the Israeli people at that time as adultery. She's a prostitute. She goes to other gods like a prostitute. Million times, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Amos, all of them talk about idolatry as a betrayal of love. From whom? not from Elohim, but from the deeper layer behind Elohim, deeper in nature, deeper in everything, deeper in the law, from the Shekhinah that dwell inside. So now we have the two layers. We understand what the wisdom of abiding the law, or making the law. On the surface is one aspect, about good for society. And deeper in it is the aspect of what does she says about the law. Let's move on to number 2, adultery. Yeah, of course, it's self-understood. From an Elohim point of view, adultery is in Eden. The moment a woman was formed, it says, therefore, a man should leave his mother, his father, cleave to his wife, and be one. So these are the 6 classical prohibition of sexual prohibition for Noahide, for all mankind. Leave your father, wife, father, mother, leave your mother and her. Not only don't sleep with your mother, but not with your aunt and so on. Not with your daughter, not with a granddaughter. Cleave to your wife and not to somebody else's wife. And be one as produce a sexual relationship is okay from the eyes of the Torah as long as you produce one. So no bestiality, no sleeping with animals, no homosexuality. And marriage, be one. One is inside your marriage. All that is in that unbelievable verse. Told right away as Eve, she's not called Eve yet, the woman is formed. So from a Elohim point of view, understand, the purpose of all that is a gift to Adam, Hashem advised, Elohim advised Adam, or tell him, listen man, if you want for integrity of your family, integrity of society, to be successful, preserve the family, purity of the family. So avoid, now we understand there is a genetic problem if there is marriage, intermarriage, even within the family, it's a lot of genetic problems. So I'll keep telling Moses said to Israel, stay away from those relationships that are bad for you. Logical, scientifically, socially is bad for you. That Elohim, logical purpose. That's the surface. Deeper, with the Shekhinah tell you, totally different aspect. Stay away from sexual promiscuity. You know why? I hate them. I hate sexual promiscuity. It's against my holiness. The holiness of YHWH is damaged by sexual promiscuity. When in book of Leviticus, God says Hashem says to Moses, tell Israel you should be holy. So Rashi said, what does it mean to be holy? Stay away from sexual promiscuity. Put a fence against sexual promiscuity. Perushim, the name Pharisee had got such a bad name in the general population. They think, wow, Pharisees are bad people. Pharisees in the Second Temple were those who exceedingly put fence after fence from sexual misbehavior. That's all. Perushim to you. That's the name. Even Rashi says, even from those relationships that you are allowed to, even them stay away. Put a fence. Let all the girls and the men and boys dress up. don't go out and provocatively dressed. That's not part of you don't disobey any prohibition here, but a fence. This fence against sexual misbehavior, that's pirushim. Holy be holy. Rashi says, stay away from sexual. He says everywhere in the Torah when it says be holy, means stay away from sexual misconduct. Why? Ask her. Ask the Shekhinah. I don't know why. In the eyes of Elohim, there is nothing wrong in going out provocatively. Until you really commit a sin, why not? I can walk out naked and I didn't transgress any law. But from Elohim, I cannot explain. But I can explain it by the input of YHVH because it's against her holiness. That's why after eating the fruit, once they got the awareness of YHVH, you know what they did? They covered the nakedness. They ate the fruit. The fruit has nothing to do with nakedness. It doesn't mean that they did. People will not understand it. They think that because she slept with a snake and this, they cover naked. No. You don't have to say that. You don't have to take this idea that she slept with a. I can understand. Could be some legend, but you miss the point. The point is the very fact, the very awareness of YHVH in your heart. Once you add that fruit and you got the awareness of her, you become ashamed of your nakedness. Though you didn't transgress any law. Even in your home, you don't walk around naked. People who have the awareness of YHVH. You have to cover yourself. She's watching you all day long. She's watching you for the war. So we understand now adultery with two layers. Superficial layer from Elohim, that's logical, that everybody understands that easily. Or the deeper layer is only the Torah telling you. Nobody else telling you that. On the other hand, don't take it to the extreme. Don't do like those stupid people who let the girls burn in a school alive because they didn't have the cover of the face, the wrapping of the face. She shouldn't go out showing the face in the public. That's why she should be burned. In fact, that happened 2 weeks ago in Israel jail. There was a scare, gas explosion in one of the jail, and all the prisoners, including Muslim women, were told to go out rapidly because it's safe. It's very dangerous to stay there. So they were chased out with, without covering the face to save their life. So the Hamas in Gaza Strip threw rocket on Israel, 10 or 4, I don't know how many, to protest against those Israelis who took the girls out without covering the face. Do you understand that? So when we say that the Torah hate sexual promiscuity, it doesn't mean that you become cruel. Cruel is the opposite of mercy. They don't understand it. Of course, saving life is paramount. What do you mean? What do you mean? Let them die, let them be burned, let them be exploded by poison gas because they don't cover the face? Tell me. We threw rocket on Israel because of that. Look at the news. Okay. Number 3, bloodshed. I'm going to cover today, try to cover the entire 6 because it's paramount. Let's see, bloodshed, number 3. Wow, here we come to a very good logical law that can be explained by Elohim for the integrity of the society. You shouldn't kill, you shouldn't murder, because it's better society. People start shooting each other. And retribution is warranted. Don't kill. God in his kindness put in his heart of every human on earth that he should know he shouldn't kill, shouldn't murder. That's logical for society, even a small tribe or country, whatever. That's logic. What deeper than that from YHVH, that's self-understood also. Killing is cruel. When Cain killed Abel, she came to him and said, "What have you done, Cain? I hear the blood of your brother shouting at me from the ground. You did evil thing. Your brother is lying in the ground while you're walking around. You killed not only him, you killed all his descendants. Half of humanity was killed. What have you done?" So killing, from her perspective, is not only violating the law for the welfare, for the goodness of society, like a contract, as a Kant said. But evil is genuinely evil because it's a merciless act, cruel act. Not only killing, but just become indifferent to other people's pain. Everything is got a lot of ramification from it. So, number 3, bloodshed is forbidden because there's 2 wisdom of Elohim, and deeper in that, pnimiyut, as the Chassidut says, in a deeper pnimiyut. Pnim is inside. Unseen, hidden, is the Shekhinah. Some people see it without understanding it. They say that the Shekhinah lies inside. So, oh wow, I cling to the commandment, so I have connection to the Shekhinah, and wow, I feel elated. That's fine. I have nothing against it. But they miss the point. The point is that behind every law of the Torah, there is a deeper layer of Shekhinah that you have to find out. And Shekhinah see the same law from the herb aspect. And bloodshed is very, very, very simple to understand. But we have dual meaning to the commandment. And to show you I'm right, because the remedy for that, Noah finally found a remedy for that. He put number 7, prohibiting you from eating torn limb from a living animal, from act of cruelty, forbidding you to eat blood, to erase any cruelty from your heart. Without that notion, Noah fought against bloodshed. The whole Rainbow Covenant is about bloodshed from the beginning to the end. So no wonder that commandment number 7 that he introduced, goes after his name, is a fight against bloodshed from the perspective of Elohim, of course. But he emphasized, Noah knew what he's doing. He emphasized, he was aiming to teach mankind to avoid cruelty, against cruelty. Don't eat a limb torn from a living animal. That's cruelty. Take a leg and you tore it and you eat it. They did it in his time. So don't do it. Don't eat blood. I don't want to shed blood, so cover it. Don't eat it. Stay away from the blood. Because it's cruel. All the law of slaughtering, of Jewish slaughtering come from here. To provide the animal a quick, painless death. The purpose of the shechita is to make the knife extremely, exquisitely sharp, that the animal will die instantaneously. It's as much less pain as possible. And to eat only the animals that Noah brought to his ark. These are the kosher animals. So don't tell me that Noah has nothing to do with the Torah. And Noah fought against bloodshed by teaching us to avoid cruelty and to empathize with the animal, empathize with the sick people and so on. All right. Now, number 4. Here we go to theft. Again, theft is easily understood from Elohim point of view. Welfare of society, integrity of society, you don't have to spend too much word of it. But what about YHVH of theft? Here we need to study about Abraham and about, because Abraham was faced with a struggle against theft, organized theft, empires, stealing people for slavery, stealing other territories for building empires on account of others, social hierarchy, royalty, slavery, all that instituted in Abraham era. Read Karen Armstrong, History of God. You see it all there. She doesn't know that it fits the Torah, but she writes it about time of Abraham. She writes the word I'm saying, it comes from her. Instead of what is nobility means I control an army that can enter invade other country for slavery, for land, subjecting other people to slave to work for me and now I'm wealthy, now I'm important politically, I will power. Now I'm an emperor. All that in Abraham life. So theft here is not just stealing like in Tubal Cain in Noah time from home. Theft here is a social disease filled with cruelty, subjecting people to slavery, to pain. There are strong people and weak people socially. You can see the YHVH here. And that's why Abraham called YHVH Adonai, my master. She owns everything. If she owns everything, then you don't own it. You're not as an emperor, you don't own everything. You stole everything. We'll get to that when you read Abraham, but there is aspect of YHVH deep inside theft. Hashem love, cherish private ownership. God of Israel support private ownership. Private ownership gives you a sense of love, connection to your thing you own. So it's not only a social contract. Don't steal because it's a rule in the order. When you steal something, when you invade somebody else's house, you disturb his ownership. I remember once I entered my father's home and I just caught the thief that ran out. And the house was rancid. Everything was thrown on the wall, put on the ground without any consideration. His clothes, his belonging, everything was on the floor. He was looking for money somewhere. Theft is invading your privacy. It's fair point. What is we talk about theft? We talk more about it when it comes to Abraham. I don't want to elaborate too much now. But that's the essence of the story here. And what about injustice? Number 6 or number 5. Injustice is surely it's an aspect of Elohim. It's self-understood. Society cannot survive without justice. But deeper than that lies the aspect of YHVH, which is totally different. Because the aspect of YHVH here negate justice. It's amazing. People, Elohim point of view, seek the truth, the absolute truth, regardless the cost. Find your truth and execute it. Jacob did it when he was young, before he learned his lesson. When he got Israel, the name of Israel, when he got the awareness of YHVH, he learned that peace prevails. That you give up some of your truth, absolute truth, and negotiate. He wrestled with the angel of Esau all night long, and they came to agreement. In the morning, it was Esau's angel that called him Israel. So the former enemies, bitter enemies, when each one went to his own truth, to seek his own truth, now facing each other, and talking to each other, they came to a different truth of Israel, this peace. The last week Parsha, Mishpatim, in the book of Exodus, read the Hasidic connotation, explanation about or commentaries about the Parsha of Mishpatim, the laws, and the Hasidic teaching is like day and night. The true emet, the true truth from YHVH, from Shekhinah aspect, is not the same truth that comes from Elohim aspect. Because YHVH love you, love peace. And she is so wide. She's called for compassion. She can accommodate different egos. So justice is too facet. How to understand at the beginning. The facet of Elohim, which is, I want my judgment. I don't care the cost. Jacob said it. And when he paid, he had to run for his life. One case after the other. I will cheat my father just to get to the truth. That I deserve it and not Esau. That called Jacob. Israel is singing. Israel means peace. It's still truth, but it's a different truth. In Kabbalah, is the two attributes talking to each other. As if the merciful one come to Elohim and says, come down. Don't tell my children, Adam, to seek your truth. The way we talk to each other, tell Adam to talk to each other. That if they won't seek his absolute truth. So the two different truths. If you don't understand that, you don't know what Israel is all about. And now we understand that the Torah is built up in two layers. The wisdom of Elohim on the surface, tooth for a tooth, eye for an eye, Elohim justice. By each has a different aspect. Deeper aspects sometimes negate Elohim aspect and sometimes support it from own point of view. And nature is built like that. On the surface, what do we see? We see nature, the material thing. Behind every molecule is Elohim, who dwell inside nature. And so in chapter 1, we talk about it. His name appears 32 times, which means heart, lev, is in the heart of nature. So I look at nature, I understand, okay, measure for measure, eat and be eaten. Deeper in that, in the pnimiyut, Hasidic teaching, in the pnimiyut, in the inside of nature, is a Shekhinah. But you need, in order to when you do mitzvot, you connect to her. You connect to her, not in mystical way. Could be, if you want to be mystical, fine. But the essence is that along the line we just discussed, everything Torah says is deeper level from the Shekhinah, which is another aspect of the same law. But you need to find it. You need to learn Torah. That's last week's Parsha. So they say you need Torah, then you get the awareness of the Shekhinah inside. You'll understand what Shekhinah, what she is telling you. All right. Oh, I didn't get to this big question, which I wanted to speak today. How then can we, because the whole topic is rebellion. So I understand now what the law is. How can mankind use the civil ordinance, the civil laws the laws that we just talked about it, to rebel against God? Because our topic is idolatry. So how did mankind rebel against God according to the book of Genesis story? How did mankind rebel against God? By using judiciary system. A hint, in Noahide time and in Sodom and Gomorrah. So we need to understand how did mankind rebel against God in Noahide time, which is totally rejection of God and anarchy. In Sodom and Gomorrah, they rebel against the deeper level. They obeyed perfectly well the outside, they dressed up with the uniform, like SS soldiers, beautiful people, beautiful uniform. They stick to the law. But what they do, horrible killing, murdering, ill, Never in history committed. All in this uniform. Finally, I have memos. I get orders. I follow Kant. So this rebellion against YHVH, deeper there, it's Sodom and Gomorrah. And I think we'll dedicate, God willing, our next class to that point. Any question for me?